Good morning, children. How are you all? Hope you all are taking a good care of yourself. So, welcome back to mathematics class once again. Let us start today's lecture. This is class 10th, subject mathematics. Children, today I am going to begin with a new chapter, that is coordinate geometry. Chapter number 7, coordinate geometry. Lecture number 1. And children, the content I am going to cover from NCERT. Children, I am going to finish this chapter in total 7 lectures. Fine, students? In today's lecture, the topics which I am going to cover, they are: number 1, review of the concept of coordinate geometry. Number 2, we will be learning about the derivation of the distance formula between 2 points. Number 3, the concept of collinearity based on distance formula. Number 4, concept of equidistance. Number 5, problems based on above written concepts from exercise 7.1. Fine, students? So children, in today's lecture, our first topic is to go through once with all the concepts of coordinate geometry. So the very first question is, what do you mean by coordinate geometry? Coordinate geometry is the branch of mathematics which deals with position of an object lying in a plane described with the help of two perpendicular lines. Children, this is the symbol of perpendicular. Fine. So basically, through this definition, you may have come to know that basically in coordinate geometry, we are going to discuss about the position of any of the object which is lying in any plane figure, and definitely it will be described with the help of two perpendicular lines. Fine. Basically what we are going to do in coordinate geometry, we will be dealing with the coordinates. And definitely children, you will have to plot the coordinates in the Cartesian plane, and after that we can go for the position of those basically coordinates. Fine. And definitely we are going to describe them with the help of two perpendicular lines. For better clarity of the definition of coordinate geometry, children, I am going to introduce the next term, that is Cartesian plane. From this, you can better understand the definition of coordinate geometry. So what do you mean by Cartesian system? The system used to describe the position of a point. As I told you in the definition also, that position of an object, or I should say the position of a point in a plane. Of course, we are dealing with the plane figure. So that is called the Cartesian system. Just look at this diagram very carefully. While looking at this diagram, you can better understand what is basically coordinate geometry and what are all the important terms which are used in coordinate geometry. Children, this is complete Cartesian plane. In Cartesian plane, basically there are two perpendicular straight lines. What do we call them? X dash and y dash, which intersect each other perpendicularly, or I should say that they both are perpendicular to each other, means they are going to form 90-degree angle. Fine. So the point of intersection where both the lines are going to be intersect each other, that point is basically called origin. And how do we represent it? We represent it by O. Fine, students. The horizontal line, that is XOX dash, is called the x-axis, and vertical line YOY dash is called the y-axis. Fine, students. Here directions OX and OY are called the positive directions of x and y-axis. Similarly, directions OX dash and OY dash are called the negative directions of x and y axis respectively. Fine, students. Now through this diagram, you may have understood the definition of coordinate geometry. That why did I say that it is basically a branch of mathematics which deals with the position of an object lying in a plane described with the help of two perpendicular lines. Fine, students. Now the next concept which I am going to take, that is, what do you mean by quadrant? Children, always remember one thing, the intersection of x and y axis, it is going to divide the complete plane into 4 parts. each part is known as the quadrant. So this is quadrant number 1, first quadrant. This is quadrant number 2, second quadrant. This is quadrant number 3, and of course last one is quadrant number 4. Sorry, this is quadrant number 3 and this is quadrant number 4. So in other words, we can say that XOY is first quadrant, X dash OY is second quadrant, X dash OY dash is third quadrant, and XOY dash is fourth quadrant. Fine, students? Now let us discuss the next point, that is coordinates of a point in the Cartesian plane. Children, here you can see that I have plotted a point P whose coordinates are 4 and 3. So how should I locate it? Please be alert. To locate a point in the Cartesian plane, its perpendicular distance from x as well as from x-axis as well as from y-axis that is required. So these distances are basically called the coordinates of the point. Fine. Each point in the Cartesian plane has two coordinates. One is x coordinate and another is y coordinate. Fine, students? Now, the x coordinate of a point. See, here I have plotted a point P, 4, 3. The x coordinate of a point is basically its perpendicular distance from y-axis. Children, here you can see that this point P, which is plotted at 4, 3, whose coordinates are 4, 3. So from where did I get this 4? Basically, this is nothing but the distance of this P point from y-axis, because this much distance is equal to 4. Fine, student? So this is known as x coordinate. In fact, we call it as abscissa also. And what is the spelling of abscissa? It is ABSCISSA. Children generally used to write wrong spelling of abscissa. Abscissa is the another name of x coordinate. Or how do we come to know about the x coordinate? X coordinate of a point is nothing but its perpendicular distance from y-axis. This is a perpendicular distance of x coordinate from y-axis, that is equal to 4. Clear, students? Let us talk about the y coordinate of the point. Y coordinate of a point is its perpendicular distance from x-axis. Children, the distance of this point, that is point P, 4, 3, you can come to know how much its distance is there from x-axis, that is equal to 3. That's why its y coordinate is equal to 3. And what do we call, what is the another name of the y coordinate? That is ordinate. What do we call it? Ordinate. Fine, students? So here 4 is abscissa, or I can call it x coordinate, and 3 is ordinate, or I can call it y coordinate. Fine. Always remember one thing, children. Coordinates x, y, they are taken together and they are known as Cartesian coordinate, or you can call it the coordinate of a point, and even we can denote them how x, y. Basically this x, y is called an ordered pair. How do we denote it? Look, x, y. I must write it like this, P. P is that very point which has been plotted on the Cartesian plane, and this x, y, this is showing the ordered pair. You cannot change this order. Suppose if at place of x you have written here y coordinate, means ordinate you have written first, and later on you are going to write abscissa, that is x coordinate. So definitely here the plotting of the point will also be changed. Correct, students? We are not supposed to change the position of this ordered pair. First of all, you have to write here abscissa, and at second position you will have to write here ordinate. Fine, students? On the basis of quadrant system, children, always you have to keep in your mind that in first quadrant, whose name is XOY, abscissa and ordinate both will be positive. Here you can see this is 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the points which I have plotted on x-axis, and here also you can see on the vertical line, that is y-axis, 1, 2, 3 and so on. Fine, student? So here x coordinate, that is abscissa, as well as y coordinate, that is ordinate, will always be positive. Let us talk about quadrant number 2. In second quadrant, children, through this x dash you have come to know that definitely abscissa will be negative but ordinate will be positive. Fine, students? Let us talk about quadrant number 3. Here you can see this is x dash and this is of course y dash. both are going to represent the negative directions of x as well as y axis respectively. So x coordinate as well as y coordinate both will be negative here. Fine students. Let us talk about quadrant number 4. Here you can see that x coordinate will be positive and y coordinate will be negative. Correct students? Suppose if someone tests you and the person asks you to plot a coordinate that is 2, -2, -1 on the Cartesian plane. Then children, can you let me know in which quadrant it would lie? Correct. It would lie in quadrant number 3. But how will I have to plot? I have to take abscissa as -2. That you know, definitely I have to go on the left side of the x-axis. Fine. That I have to take in under x dash. This is -2 over here. And here this is -1. Definitely you will have to go for the below part of the y-axis. Fine. So you are going to plot -2, -1 here in quadrant number 3. In the same manner, you can plot as many as coordinates as you want. Now children, this was all about the review of the concepts related to coordinate geometry. Now I am going to switch to the derivation of distance formula. This is totally new for you, so please be alert. Basically, what do you mean by distance formula? Through the name itself, you can understand that there are two points plotted on the Cartesian plane and we are going to just calculate the distance between them. Fine students? Children, just look at this small Cartesian plane. Here I have plotted 2 points whose coordinates basically I do not know. That is P as well as Q. So I have to calculate the distance between P and Q. Fine. So through this derivation we will come to know how can we calculate the distance between 2 points which are plotted on the Cartesian plane. Fine students. So let us have a look. What is given in this question? Basically we will have been given 2 points, that is P whose coordinates are x1, y1 and Q whose coordinates are x2, y2. And what we have to calculate? We will have to calculate the distance between these two very points. How will we represent it? We will represent it by PQ. PQ is equal to x2 minus x1 ka whole square plus y2 minus y1 ka whole square. This is the formula which we have to derive. Fine students. Now, please look at this Cartesian plane very carefully. Okay, then I am going to make you understand it. First of all, I have drawn a Cartesian plane. Here you know the horizontal line which is XO x dash is known as x-axis. Vertical line YO y dash which is known as y-axis. Fine students. After that, what I have done children, as I have just explained you that I am going to calculate the distance between 2 points P as well as Q. So I have plotted P and Q on the Cartesian plane and this is basically the distance between them. Fine. This distance I will have to calculate. So what I am going to do, here I have assumed as we are going to derive the formula, so we cannot take the coordinates like 2, 3, 4, 8. We cannot take like this. We will have to consider them in the form of variables using generalized form. Okay. So P I have taken x1, y1 and Q I have taken x2, y2. Always remember one thing students, that x coordinate which is x1 here, fine, of a point is its perpendicular distance from y-axis. Okay. So here what is this? x1 is the x coordinate of point P. So what can I say? That x1 is nothing but the distance of this point P from y-axis. So can I write this? Can I show this distance as x1? This is whatever is equal to x1. So I can write that here OR is also equal to x1, as you can give here point T dash. T dash P is parallel to this OR. Fine. So they both will be equal. So what can I say? That OR is equal to x1, or I can say that T dash P is also equal to x1. Which concept I have applied over here? I have just told you that the x coordinate of a point is nothing but its distance from the perpendicular distance of this point from the y-axis. It is measured through the perpendicular distance of this point from the y-axis. Correct students? Okay. Now let us talk about the next one. As you can see here, what is the x coordinate of the point Q? This is x2. So you have to take this very distance only, because I have to take the distance of this point from y-axis again. Fine students. Then what can I do in this case? So distance of this point Q from y-axis, this complete distance will be equal to x2. So can I say that OS is also equal to x2? Of course, because OS is nothing but that distance which is equal to x dash q. Fine students. So when this complete OS is x2 and this OR is x1, then can you let me know, children, what will be RS? Of course, it would be x2 minus x1. That would be x2 minus x1. Correct, students? Okay. Now we will be reaching on y coordinate. For y coordinate, see, this is the point P, and what is its y coordinate? That is y1. What you have to do for y coordinate, children, always we will have to take the perpendicular distance of that very point from x-axis. So can I say this complete PR equal to y1? Of course, because this is the point P and I have to take the distance of this point P from x-axis so that I can calculate the y coordinate, that is equal to y1. Now let us talk about Q. How can I come to know that QS is equal to y2? This complete QS is equal to y2. How can I say? Because to calculate the y coordinate, or I should say the ordinate of any of the point, I have to take the distance of that very point from the x-axis. So can you tell me what is this QS over here? Correct. This QS is y2. But what is this PR? PR is y1. Or you know, children, this PR is actually equal to TS. Fine. So what can I say? That this TS will also be equal to y1. Correct, students? Now, children, you may be having some doubt that why ma'am is saying that PR is equal to TS. Fine. And why I am saying that RS is equal to PT. Basically, children, I have drawn the perpendicular lines, that is PR on x-axis, and of course QS also on x-axis. Fine. In the same manner, I have drawn the perpendicular line, that is PT on QS, and of course you can say that RS also on QS. Fine, students. So this part I am going to explain you in construction. So this was all about that how can we come to know about the distance of the coordinate which I am going to plot on the Cartesian plane from y-axis as well as from x-axis. Fine, students. So let us start its solution now in the actual sense. So children, here you can see that OS is equal to x2. What is this OS? This complete distance. Fine. This is what actually, this is the distance of the coordinate. Which coordinate I am talking about, children? Correct. This is x coordinate. So the distance of the x coordinate from y-axis, this is complete equal to x2 that I have just explained you through the diagram. Now let us talk about OR. Now I have to again take the distance of the x coordinate, that is abscissa, from y-axis. So this is complete equal to OR, that is equal to x1. Fine, student. So I have just explained you how to calculate RS. When complete OS you know OR. So RS is very simple to calculate. How can we do that? OS minus OR will give you RS. So that would be x2 minus x1. Fine, students? Okay. Now let us switch to next point. This is QS is equal to y2. Where is QS? QS is this completed distance. This is equal to y2. Again, I told you to calculate the position of the y coordinate, or I should say the ordinate. Its distance I have to consider from the x-axis. Fine. So QS is equal to y2. Correct, students? Let us talk about PR is equal to TS is equal to y1. Where is PR now? Again, you have to take the distance of this y coordinate from x-axis. Of course, because you have to calculate this distance. So PR is equal to y1. And this PR is equal to TS. By that reason I am going to give you, because I have drawn the perpendicular lines. So this complete PTSR is going to become a rectangle. Fine, students? Okay. Now the last point in it is how to calculate QT. Where is QT? This complete QT, smaller one. When you know that complete QS is equal to y2 and this TS is equal to y1. So this is very simple to calculate QT. What can I do? I can subtract TS from QS. So it would be QS minus TS. That would be Y2 minus Y1. Correct, students? Now, as I have just told you that I have just constructed, I have just drawn the perpendicular line PR and QS on x-axis, and of course I have drawn PT on QS also. Please have a look, just to check it. I have drawn perpendicular line PR and QS. Look, this is PR, this is perpendicular on x-axis, PR is perpendicular on x-axis, and what else? QS is perpendicular on x-axis. Fine, student. And I have drawn PT also perpendicular on QS. Correct, student? So because PTSR has become a complete rectangle, that's why the opposite sides are equal. So if this RS is equal to x2 minus x1, can I say that PT is also equal to x2 minus x1? After all, PT is the opposite side of RS. And in rectangle, you know that opposite sides are equal. Correct, student? So this QT we have just calculated, that is Y2 minus Y1. What we have to do, we will have to basically calculate the distance between P as well as Q. Now we are going to switch to the proof of this question. What I am going to do? In proof, children, here you can see that this has become a complete right angle triangle. Please have a look. QTP has become a complete right angle triangle. Then I am just going to apply Pythagoras over here. So what is to be done? While applying Pythagoras theorem, children, you can write that PQ square, which was actually the hypotenuse as it was opposite to 90 degree, is equal to PT square plus QT square. PT I have just told you, that is x2 minus x1, its whole square you have to take, plus QT also we have calculated while subtracting TS from QS, that is Y2 minus Y1 whole square. This is equal to PQ square. But what we have to calculate? We have to calculate PQ only. So definitely this 2, which is a whole square, is going to be removed, and here I will be getting under root. So the distance formula is x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. Children, suppose instead of x2 minus x1 whole square, you have written x1 minus x2 whole square. Or here you have written y1 minus y2 whole square, and then it's whole under root. So always remember, this is also appropriate. Because if I am going to write 5 minus 3 whole square or 3 minus 5 whole square, ultimately I will be getting the same result. Here also I will be getting 2 square, that will be 4. Here also I am going to get minus 2 square, that will also be equal to 4. Because there is whole square, so definitely the positive value I am going to get. Correct, student? So this was all about the derivation of the distance formula. You have to just keep the formula in your mind, and on the basis of this you have to do the questions. Fine. Now children, again I am going to switch to the next concept, that is the concept of collinearity. Before I explain you the concept of collinearity on the basis of distance formula, children, you must be knowing what do you mean by collinear points. Always remember, when 3 or more than 3 points lie on the same line, then they are known as collinear points. Fine, students? Now let us switch to the concept of collinearity. Here I have plotted 3 points on the same line. This is A, B and C. Now I have to just tell, using distance formula, what is the concept of collinearity. If AB means the distance between A and B, that you know how to calculate. I have just explained you the derivation, that is x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. Suppose here you are going to take the coordinate of A as x1 y1, and here you are going to take the coordinate of y as x2 y2. So you are just going to calculate the distance between them, AB. In the same manner you will be calculating the distance between BC. So if AB distance plus BC distance is equal to total AC distance, I have to calculate now the distance between A as well as C. Here you could take x3 and y3 also. Fine, that depends on you. Now, if AB plus BC is equal to the complete distance, that is AC, then definitely the condition of collinearity will be satisfied, and we can say that the given 3 points, that is A, B and C, lie on the same line. Fine. If the sum of the shorter lengths, what are the shorter lengths, children? AB and BC. Fine. This is not equal to the larger length, means the complete AC. If it is not equal to, then the points are not collinear. Fine students? Okay. Now our next concept is equidistant points. A point P equidistant from 2 points say A and B lie on the perpendicular bisector of AB. That is AP must be equal to PB. From the name itself, children, you can better understand equidistance means the distance must be equal. For example, suppose these are 2 points which I have drawn on a line AB, and here I am going to plot another point P. So can I, while looking at this diagram, can I come to know that AP is equal to PB? So where is basically P point going to be lie? It is going to be lie on the perpendicular bisector of AB. Okay, so the distance of this point P from A as well as the distance of this point P from B must be equal. Then and only then you can say that P point is at the equidistance from A as well as from B. Correct, students? So it was all about the conceptual knowledge. Fine. Now children, I am going to switch to the sums, which I am going to take from exercise 7.1 of NCERT. The formula which I have just made you learn to calculate the distance between the 2 points, that formula I am going to apply and I will be solving the questions. This is question number 1. Find the distance between the pair of the points. Third part I am going to take, children. This is A comma B and minus A comma minus B. Fine. So first of all, we can give the name to these coordinates. Let P A comma B and Q minus A comma minus B be two given points. Children, as you know that we have learnt the formula in the form of x1, y1, x2, y2. Fine. So definitely we will have to give the name to the coordinates like this also. So here I am just going to assume that A is actually x1, means x1 is equal to A, y1 is equal to B, x2 is equal to minus A, y2 is equal to minus B. Fine. Now I am going to calculate the distance between these 2 points whose name I have given PQ. So how do we write the distance? We write it like PQ is equal to, now formula, x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. That depends on you. Either you can write like this or you can write like this also, x1 minus x2 whole square plus y1 minus y2 whole square. Fine, student. Now please be focused. What is x2? This is minus A written over here. Now this minus sign. What is x1? This is A whole square plus what is y2? Y2 is minus B written over here. Then this minus sign, and what is y1? Y1 is B written over here. Fine. Now minus A will give you minus 2B whole square plus minus B will give you minus 2B whole square, because minus minus plus but sign will be of minus. Okay. Now minus 2A whole square will give you 4A square plus minus 2B whole square will give you plus 4B square, because minus into minus will become plus. Now I am going to take 4 common. Where I took 4 common, so definitely under root will also be coming along with it. It would be root 4. In bracket, what is left? In whole under root, A square plus B square is left. Fine, students. So as you know that 4 is a perfect square, so it would be 2 into whole under root A square plus B square unit. So this is basically the distance between the two coordinates which were given in the question. Fine, students. Okay. Now I am going to switch to the next question. This is question number 3. Question number 2 is your maths homework. Determine if the points 1, 5, 2, 3 and minus 2, minus 11 are collinear or not. We have to just tell whether they are collinear or not. Using distance formula, children, you have to prove it. So first of all, I am going to give the name. So let points A 1, 5, B 2, 3 and C minus 2, minus 11 are given. As I have just told you that we have to apply the concept of distance formula. So let us recall the formula once again. It is x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square, its whole under root. So now let us calculate the distance between A and B. Fine. Here I have written, children, the coordinates of A, that is 1, 5, B 2, 3 and C minus 2, minus 11. The formula you know very well. So either you can go with x1 minus x2 whole square plus y1 minus y2 whole square. Or you can go with x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. That depends on you. So let us do that. 1 minus 2 whole square plus 5 minus 3 whole square. It would be minus 1 whole square plus, this is 2 square, that is actually 4, and minus 1 whole square is 1. So I have got as root 5. Basically children, here I do not know which point is going to lie at the middle of the line. Fine. So I have to find out basically all the distances. I have to calculate AB also. I have to calculate BC also. I have to calculate AC also. But I have to check whether the condition of the collinearity, that is AB plus BC is equal to AC becoming or not, or another one I can take that AC plus CB is equal to AB becoming or not, means any of the two smaller lengths, if the sum of any of the two smaller length is equal to the bigger length, then and only then the points are said to be collinear, otherwise not. Fine. Now let us calculate BC. Here you will be having the coordinates. So this is 2 minus of minus 2. That will become plus 2. So 2 plus 2 whole square plus 3 minus of minus 11. This is 3 plus 11 whole square. Fine. So 4 square plus 14 square. That is 16 plus 14 square is 196 and its whole under root. So I will be getting 212. Now let us calculate the next, that is CA. So when I calculated CA, so children, I have got minus 2 minus 1 whole square plus minus 11 minus 5 whole square, because here you can see that the coordinate of C are minus 2 minus 11 and A are 1 and 5. So I have got minus 3 whole square plus minus 16 whole square, that is 9 plus 256 whole under root is equal to 265. Fine children. Now, so children, in any of the way you are going to represent the points on the same line, you have to just calculate these very distances only. Look, this is AB, BC and AC, or AC, CB, or I can call it BC also, and AB. But what we have to check, if the sum of two smaller lengths is equal to the bigger length, then and only then the points are said to be collinear. So here children, I have seen that AB plus BC is not equal to CA. That root 5 plus root 212 is not equal to root 265. Fine children. So what can I say? That the points are non-collinear points. Correct? Children, if you want to go for the prime factorization of these two values also, then you can go with that. There is no problem. But basically through these expressions only I have come to know that the points are non-collinear to each other, because at any cost the sum of any of the two smaller length can never ever be equal to the length of the bigger side. Fine students. Now children, our next question is, find the point on x-axis. When it comes, you have to think about the point which comes on x-axis. Then children, definitely it strikes in your mind that ordinate must be 0. Correct? Because on x-axis y coordinate is 0 and on y-axis x coordinate is 0. Fine students. So find the point on x-axis which is equidistant from 2 comma minus 5 and minus 2 comma 9. So let us start. As it is said that the point lie on x-axis, so definitely our assumption will be in the same manner. So let point A x comma 0, because on x-axis you have to take y coordinate as 0. Be any point on x-axis which is equidistant from 2 comma minus 5 and minus 2 comma 9. Here I have given the name to 2 comma minus 5 as B and minus 2 comma 9 as C. Fine student. As it is said that that very point means x comma 0, point A. This is at the equidistance from which two coordinates? B and C. So can I write like this? Suppose here I have written A, x comma 0. Here I am going to write B and here I am going to write C. Definitely I will be having the coordinates of B and C given. These distances are equal. So what I have to do? Definitely I have to calculate AB as well as AC. And according to question, both the distances are equal. So put them equal. Okay. So now I am going to calculate AB as well as AC. The coordinates of A are x and 0. So let us calculate the distance between A and B. It will be x minus 2 whole square plus 0 minus of minus 5, that is 0 plus 5 whole square and whole under root, is equal to, now I have to calculate AC, means x minus minus 2, that would become x plus 2 whole square plus 0 minus 9 whole square, correct. Now children, when there are 2 whole under root, then you can go for squaring on both sides so that these both under roots will be removed. Okay. Now let us simplify the expression. This is a minus b whole square. So after simplifying it, I will be getting a square, that is x square, plus b square, that is 2 square, minus 2 into a into b, that is minus 2 into x into 2. So you will be getting minus 4x. Okay. Plus 5 square is equal to 25 is equal to, now here I am applying a plus b whole square, that is x square plus 4 plus 4x plus minus 9 square, minus 9 into minus 9, that will give you plus 81. Okay. Now this x square and 4 are going to be cancelled. I have got minus 4x and here plus 4x. It is going on left hand side. It would become minus 4x. So ultimately I will be getting minus 8x is equal to 81 minus 25, that would give you 56. So x is equal to 56 upon minus 8, that is equal to minus 7. So hence the point which is at the equidistance from the given point on the x-axis is minus 7, 0. Because I have just got the value of x, fine. And what was the required? What was our assumption? That was x, 0. So I can write minus 7, 0 is the required point. Fine student. Now children, this is the last question of today's lecture. Question number 9 of 7.1. If Q 0, 1 is equidistant from point P 5, minus 3 and R x, 6. This is given to us that it is at the equidistance. So can I do like this, like I have written here Q. Here I am going to write P. Here I will be writing R. These two distances are equal. It is given as per the question. Then we will have to find the value of x, and after finding the value of x, we will have to find the distances QR and PR. Fine students? Okay. Now, we will be having the coordinates given. Of Q, we will be having 0, 1 given. For P, we will be having 5, minus 3. And for R, we will be having x, 6. Fine students? Okay. Now, I am going to calculate the distance QP and QR as it is given that both the distances are equal. So what would be QP? QP will be 5 minus 0 whole square, this is written, plus minus 3 minus 1 whole square, whole under root, is equal to. Now let us talk about the distance QR. It would be x minus 0 whole square plus 6 minus 1 whole square. Children, which formula I am going to apply over here? Yes, distance formula, that is x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. Now squaring on both sides so that under root can be removed. So let us simplify. 5 square is equal to 25 plus, this is minus 3 minus 1 will give you minus 4. Its whole square is equal to 16 is equal to x square plus 6 minus 1 whole square, that is 5 square is equal to 25. 25 and 25 are going to be cancelled. So x square is equal to 16. When I am going to remove this whole square, so definitely it will be, children, x is equal to plus minus whole under root 16. Correct? And 16 is a perfect square. So what will be the value of x? X is equal to plus minus 4. Fine students? Now children, as I have got two values of x, so definitely R will be either 4, 6 or minus 4, 6. Because here it was given in the question x, 6. So definitely at place of x, first I am writing 4 and at another position I will be writing minus 4. Now we have been asked in the question that you have to find the distance QR and PR. Fine. So let us find the distances. QR, first case I will be taking R 4, 6. In another case I will be taking R minus 4, 6. Fine. So I am going to calculate QR. How to calculate? Using distance formula. It will be 4 minus 0 whole square plus 6 minus 1 whole square. Correct? 4 square 16 plus 6 minus 1, that is 5 square 25 whole under root equal to 20 is equal to 41 whole under root units. Fine. root 41 units. Now again I am going to calculate the QR distance, but instead of 4 I will be taking minus 4. Why? Because two values of x we have calculated. Correct, students? Now apply distance formula. Minus 4 minus 0 whole square plus 6 minus 1 whole square whole under root. Minus 4 square is equal to 16 plus 5 square is equal to 25, again whole under root, that is root 41 units. Children, have you observed one thing, that the distance is same of QR, though I have taken R in case 1 4,6 and in another case minus 4,6. Fine, students? Okay. Now only the quadrant will vary because of it, otherwise no variation will be there. Okay. Also now I am going to calculate PR. So how to calculate PR? P coordinates are 5, minus 3 and the coordinate of R I am taking in case 1 4,6. So let us find the distance. 5 minus 4 whole square plus minus 3 minus 6 whole square, that would be minus 9 whole square, that is plus 81, or 1 square is 1, so it would become root 82 units. Fine. Now let us calculate this again, PR. Okay children, one more thing I want to add in it. Here the distance could vary also. Means it is not essential that every time QR will be equal to root 41. I could get some different distance also, because the quadrants are going to be changed. Definitely the distance can be either more or less also. Fine, students? Okay. Now let us switch to the next distance, that is PR. Now what are the coordinates? This is 5, minus 3 for P, and R I am going to take minus 4, 6. Let us find PR. This is 5 minus minus 4 means plus 4. 5 plus 4 whole square plus minus 3 minus 6 whole square, that is minus 9 whole square. Here also 9 square. So this is root 81 plus 81. So I have got root 162. Children, can I write it like this? 81 into 2 whole under root, that is 9 root 2 units. Children, here you can see that I have got two different distances for PR. Correct, students? Okay, let me add one more point related to that, why we were getting here the same distance though the quadrant were going to be changed, and here why were we getting the different distances, again the quadrants were going to be changed. Children, have a look over here. Here what are the coordinates of Q point? That is 0, 1. So if x coordinate is 0, so definitely the point will be plotted on y axis. So children, here I have plotted 0, 1. Fine. And by my assumption here I have taken 4, 6 and here I will be taking minus 4, 6. Now you have to see the difference, the distance between this 0, 1 and 4, 6 and 0, 1 and minus 4, 6. Fine. So this would be approximately same. Not approximately, in fact it would be exactly same. Fine. Now let us talk about case 2. Why were we getting the different distances? Here children, have a look please. What I am going to do, on the Cartesian plane I have plotted P 5, minus 3. This is 5, minus 3 over here, because I have to take minus 3 here, right? And R is, in one case R is 4, 6. This is R 4, 6. And in another one this is R minus 4, 6. I have to take the distance of this P point from R as well as from this R, whose coordinates are minus 4, 6. Just have a look. One distance is this and another one is this. So definitely this distance is not equal to this. They are not equal. Fine, students. So that's why we will be getting different distances. Hope you may not be having any kind of doubt now related to the distances. Okay. Now this is the time to get mathematics homework. Please learn the derivation which I have taught you today related to distance formula. Okay. And you have to do the questions first part and second part. Second question, 8th question and 10th question of exercise 7.1 in homework notebook along with the classwork questions. And in this classwork I have explained you the derivation also. Fine. Other than this, because your homework is not much today, so you have to go for the derivation of the section formula. You please read it twice from NCERT so that in next lecture you can better understand it. Fine, students? Till now, I have not covered with exercise 7.1. Few questions are still left. So I will be taking those questions along with the derivation of section formula in my next lecture. Fine, students? Okay. Please do not forget to like the video and subscribe our channel. Thank you and have a nice day.